Take.
The Global Filipino magazine where we feature successful stories of our expats here in the United Arab Emirates. For this afternoon, I happen to have one of the guests na very close to me because I've known her for almost more than a year. We started to have this teacher-student relationship to colleagues as she also joined the adjunct trainers for the campus where I teach with. She has been a student at the same time, a top student, and of course a performing teacher with the campus. This afternoon, this episode, we have Miss Rosanna Garcia. Miss Rosanna.
Hi, Mr. Joel.
Thank you so much for joining the interview. Alam mo, Miss Rosanna, ikaw ang isa sa may pinaka good testimony na
Okay.
nakilala ko kasi from students. You were very open to me, no? You also shared your personal struggles at the same time. I think we had that very close friendship. And thank you so much for joining.
It's my pleasure, sir. Although it's really 50-50 for me kung if I will proceed or no. Kasi talagang this is my first time, to be honest. So
To be joining like competition or
especially
interviews.
for a pageant, I really don't have any experience. I really don't know how to do things. So this is really, everything is a first for me. And I really thank you for that and for believing that pwede akong sumali.
But you know, are we reaching your limitations? Miss Rosanna, 20 years here in the UAE. Can you tell us what pushed you or what was your reason moving outside from the Philippines?
Well, honestly, wala sa plan ko or not even in my dreams to go abroad. Why? Because in my early childhood, my mom was a OFW. Sa Saudi siya. Although hindi siya nagtagal, pero being away from her, it's really difficult. So sabi ko, I don't want to go abroad. But then, as my work being executive assistant of the CEO of an amusement center, we had a big project here in Sharjah. So it's Adventureland in Sharjah. So we have to build the amusement center, especially the big rides. So since my CEO believed that since I know everything about the project, he decided na, Rosanna, ikaw na ang mag-handle for that project. Since you know everything on that, kilala mo yung mga tao. I said, no, I'm not really interested. And since I'm not going to spend anything, I just have to get my passport. Okay, sige, let's try. So, then I have to go. But it was very difficult for me kasi that time my eldest son was just 2.5 years old.
Oh, so parang naging worry mo din na maulit yung cycle na mother away.
Yes. So, it was very difficult for me. Na even when they dropped me in the airport, talagang masamang-masama ang loob ko. But I said, 2 years lang naman. Then I'll come back, then I won't leave anymore. So then I go. I was in the construction of that amusement park, and then when we finished, although I did not complete the 2 years, when the amusement park was already opened up to the public, there was some issues in the company, so I decided to come back.
Correct. So yung 2 years na yun naging 2 decades.
Yes, unfortunately, because
I think that's fortunate. Kasi nadala mo yung mga anak mo dito, you were able to support their education. Tell us that journey, yung 2 decades.
Yeah, well, so after that, I said I don't want to go abroad na. Kasi it's very lonely talaga pag nasa abroad ka. But because during that time, I made friends. I had a lot of contacts, acquaintances. So one day, I was already working in the call center, and there was an interview even saying, are you planning to go back abroad? I said, no, I'm not planning to go abroad. Suddenly, I got a call from one of my acquaintances. Do you want to come back? I said,
Bumalik ka na.
Yes.
2003.
2003. So, they needed someone. It's called the hardest controller. It's for a rental company of big machineries for construction.
Yes.
So, she said, gusto mo ba? I said, basta ba wala akong gagastusin na, I can try. Okay. In 2 weeks time, I'm back. But now I'm in Dubai. Because previously I'm in Sharjah. And that was also another struggle kasi I'm a comm grad. And I'm going into construction. I have to learn all about the machineries, the heights, the technical specification of the equipment. And my manager was even saying, every time he passes my table, he will ask me a question. Oh, Rosanna, what's the height of this and how do you convert this? I have to know it immediately. So I really have to learn about it. And then I was a hard disk controller for like 2 years.
Yes.
Since madadanga ako, and I know all the customers, I got my license, my driving license. Then there's an position open up for sales.
Correct.
I think that sales position was for me. Why? Because I passed the driving, I got my license.
Yes, for the first day.
And it's a manual.
Yes.
I'm the only manual driving license there in that office. And the available car for the salesperson is a manual car.
Okay. Para sa iyo.
So that's why I said, parang para sa akin talaga yun. It was meant for me. So okay, go. And that is where I started all the hardships of selling.
Yes.
Selling is very hard. It's a hard selling because you have to go to all the construction sites. Talagang papasukin mo yon. It doesn't matter kung mabuhangin, maputik ba siya. You have to go. And that is where I experienced a lot of discrimination.
Kasi construction is for men.
Guys, yes.
Okay.
And the first thing they will ask you is, are you an engineer? Yes.
By knowledge.
Yes. Well, because they were asking that the project managers will not meet you, and then they will start asking you technical questions, but I can answer them, and I can give them the specification they want. So for 9 years, I was outside, hard selling. Umulan, umaraw, magramadan, magtago ka sa loob ng sasakyan for not showing your eating. Ganun siya. So I have to put yung car shade, 4 car shades sa harap, sa likod, sa dalawang gilid so that you can eat and you can drink kasi it's not allowed. Only recently na lang yung allowed. Talagang that one, you won't find any shop na bukas. You have to bring your food.
Okay, Miss Rosanna, no? Nabanggit mo that you stay in a company like for years.
Yes.
Hindi ka like for just contractual renewal. Talagang nagtatagal ka sa.
Yep.
Where did you get that kind of work ethic na dapat pag nagstay ka sa company mo, you stay there, you do your best?
Because I really believe na you should not be jumping into different jobs. Okay? No matter how difficult the job is, because you have to show your loyalty to the company and you have to make sure that you become successful on that chosen path. It doesn't matter kung yun yung really your course. Hindi naman nasusukat yun on that course. It's how you complete and how you progress on that job.
Yes.
And I always tell the people na hindi porket masama ang loob mo sa boss or you're stressed with the job, bye, uwi na ako. I quit. No, it's not that. And at the same time, we're outside our country.
Yes.
Kailangan tayo ang makikisama. Okay? Hindi naman katulad sa Pilipinas na when you quit, okay lang. You still have a house to go to. You still have a food to eat. But here, when you quit the job, you have to go home. Otherwise, find another job immediately. Kasi you need a visa.
Correct.
And you need to feed yourself. And you have to
support families.
Support families, and you have to pay the rent here.
True.
And if you have a kid studying, you have to do your best. Yes. Kahit pa how stressful it is, how difficult it is, you have to make sure.
True.
Na you have to be. Patience is a virtue nga ang motto ko dati. Pero ngayon hindi na patience is a virtue.
Ano na?
Pera na makakatulong sa atin Well, we don't have, hindi tayo pwede magpaka-plastic.
Correct.
Kailangan natin yun
True.
Pero at the same
Source,
time,
income,
yes,
diba?
but at the same time, you don't lose your personality.
Yes.
You don't lose your values. Hindi porket gusto mo lang maging successful, sisip-sip ka na or you have to go against with your colleagues. No.
Correct.
You have to still help your colleague kahit pa gaano sila ka-stressful.
Ms. Rosanna, going from like your career path, like how are you as a parent naman? Like breaking the cycle of a parent that is away, having your kids with you, paano yung journey ng pagiging isang ina mo, like also asawa, during that period?
When I came back, siguro after 2 years, my son followed me here. And my husband followed me here. So, I have to get my own, although uso na yung partition before, I got yung parang studio na meron ng bathroom at saka meron ng kitchen. So, I had to, he came here, my son came first, and then actually my husband applied in an agency. That's why he was able to come here also. Kasi we know it's not easy to sponsor children and husband that time. It's really difficult. So I can only get my son, but I can't bring my husband.
Okay.
So he has to apply for agency, and then he came after siguro 2 months after my son. But then before my son came here, I had to look for schools. And I enrolled him to the United International Private School, UIPS in Muhesna. So he was there until he graduated high school. So ang routine namin is I have a key of the house. The first rule is do not open the door regardless kung sinong kakatok. We have a key. So we can open the door. So whoever knocks on the door, don't open. It's like don't talk to strangers,
Correct,
diba?
correct.
So that's the first rule. Kasi pag pumasok naman ako, I have food ready for him. So okay, and then he'll call me pag nasa bahay na siya.
Yes.
And my first rule for him was, I don't need honors. Okay?
This is a studies na.
Okay, so studies na. So ang rule ko sa kanya, you just have to study. Okay? You're not required to give me a medal. You're not required to be a top one. Because I don't believe in that. I just need you to pass. Simple. I need you to finish your studies, and that's all I can give you.
Yes. You have 2 children, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that eldest of mine, he was here when he was 7 years old, and he left here when he was 60.
True. For college.
For college.
Yes.
Kasi, but it was really difficult kasi imagine you have to pay the house, you have to pay the school. Diba? The budgeting is really...
Yes. Twice na kasi yung son mo.
Yes. And then, when I sent him back for college, that's the time I got my youngest. I believe God was looking at me saying, napakalungkot mo naman. Sige, bigyan pa tayo sa diba?
Yes.
Yeah, because that happened talagang after I sent him home.
Yes.
Kasi talagang being a mother, it's really difficult, especially na nasa akin siya for quite a long time. Hinatid ko siya, hinanap ko siya ng dorm. Nung hinatid nila ako pabalik ng airport, Pilipinas Airport pa lang bumabaha. Nagpunta pa ako sa lounge para hindi naman nakakayat sa mga maraming tao. Pero pagdating din sa lounge, bumabaha. Hanggang nakasakay ako ng airport, bumabaha.
Yes.
Ng aeroplano. Pagdating ko ng Dubai, bumabaha pa din.
Yes.
And I have to call him every day. Oh, kumusta naman? Anong nangyari?
Kasi this time, young adult na yung ano mo eh. I mean, teenager pa rin, no?
Yes,
Kaya
and
pa rin ang
he's
guidance.
not used to Philippines kasi. So he was always advised, you have to be street smart.
Yes.
Because so I have to call, nasa dorm ka na ba? Nasa school ka na ba? Kumain ka na ba? Ano kinain mo today? Then when he doesn't call or he doesn't reply, parang, okay, it's either may nangyari ba or, I'm okay.
Starting to
At least let me know kasi, di ba, I'm not sure if you're okay or you're not okay. But eventually, I have to let him go.
True.
So,
ano na yun lalaki din, no?
Lalaki,
Kailangan din ng
yeah.
independence.
yes. So, I have just to send him the allowances, I have to pay the dorm. So, again, budgeting was, again, difficult. And then you have a small kid. Parang nanganay ka ulit.
Correct. Ang laki ng gap eh, 16
Yeah.
years, tama?
16.
You were very open about your second child because your second child happens to have this diagnosis, correct?
Yes. Actually, my youngest son now is 7 years old. When he was 3, and he was already in the big school, the school required us to do an assessment. At first, ayoko. Kasi bakit? Bakit nyo kailangan ng assessment? It's either, my take was either hindi nyo kaya yung anak ko, or there's really something wrong. Although at the back of my mind, I was already, alam ng mother yun eh.
Correct, may instinct ka na.
Oo,
there's
there is
something
something.
unusual. Oo.
So, okay, then we went for a
This is at
assessment.
what age?
3 and a
Years
half.
old. Okay.
So, we went for an
Dito?
assessment. Dito, nasa
Okay.
Dubai. It's very expensive. Seriously, it's very expensive. So, nag-passes kami. The specialist pediatrician also went to the school to observe. And then when the report came, it was
What is the result?
it's a shock and a relief at the same time. Shock because, bakit? Why? Did I do something wrong? Or is this a punishment or something? So, the diagnosis was, he is a high-functioning ASD. What is ASD? It's Autism Spectrum Disorder.
Yes.
Okay. Most people will only know that as autism. And we generalize autism. Okay. There's autism, there's Down syndrome, there's ADHD. Okay. So, as a mother, masakit yon.
Correct.
Kasi, you will have to either blame yourself, ako ba ang may kasalanan, bakit siya ganun? Or, it's really it just happened. So, high-functioning ASD, what's the difference with other autism kids? He is very smart.
Yes.
He learned the alphabet at age 2.
Wow, that was very early.
Yeah. In 3 languages.
Yes.
In
I
3
think you
languages.
have mentioned that.
Okay. In 3 languages. He likes language so much. Sinong nagturo? Wala. Well, actually, thank you for YouTube.
Kita niya na
But nobody teach him how to search that.
Yes.
So he was the one who found out how these languages are. So he learned Arabic fast. He learned Urdu fast, and then
Urdu.
and he learned Russian alphabet. He can sing. He's not only speaking. He can write it.
Yes.
Okay, so that's how smart it is. And he also loves math. So it's very easy for him, the addition, the subtraction. Minsan nagsasawa na nga siya eh. Kasi ayaw na niya sagutin kasi he already knows the question. So, in the school, nahihirapan din yung school kasi pag itinuro na paulit-ulit, nabobore na siya.
Bata, correct.
So that
yung
is
attention span, no?
Parang, so his autism is not so bad kasi nga smart siya, intelligent siya. The only issue is the behavior. When we say behavior,
what happens?
Pag meron siyang bagay na hindi nakuha, or yung talagang gustong-gusto niya, pag sinabi mo sa kanyang no, magagalit siya, magwawala siya. But it doesn't mean you have to spank him, you have to get angry. Nung una, ganun kami, na hindi ka marunong makinig. O Joel, hindi ka nakikinig, di ba? Sa atin, in the previous years, pag ang bata hindi nakikinig, makakatikim na ng palo yan. No. For autism kids, you don't need to do that. You cannot do that. Bakit? Kasi they don't understand. And they don't know how to express their frustrations. So, ang gagawin lang nila is magagalit, magwawala kasi hindi nila kayang i-express yung sarili nila. So that is where the struggle started. The school will call you, your son is hitting other kids, your son is doing this, your son is not doing. You know, for as a mother, ang sakit,
So working.
yeah, ang sakit pakinggan na, hello, anak ko lang ba yung ganito sa room or hindi nyo lang talaga siya kayang i-handle. But eventually, I learned na when your child is diagnosed with something,
Correct.
the first thing you have to do is accept.
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Bakit? Kasi if you don't accept, you will just get frustrated. Pati yung bata, mahihirapan. So you have to help yourself so that you can help him.
Correct.
Okay?
Do we have helpline dito? Meron ba tayo? Where do you get the help? I mean, because this is not a battle that you fight alone. You have your husband, but do we have like a community? May mga tao ba na?
There are people who has kids that has autism. I made a lot of friends because of this situation. I have one parent during that time na approached me saying because there was a requirement for the school. There's a SEN department that they call it. So there's an inclusion in the class. So there's a special teacher that will come and look at these children. So when this parent saw me talking to that teacher, she approached me and she said, if you don't mind, anong problema with your son? Then we started talking and we started crying. It's difficult kasi, especially if you're accepting it, but the other people can't accept.
Yes.
It's not that they don't want to accept. That's why I wanted to have an autism awareness. Kasi, as parents, lagi tayong in denial.
Correct.
Pag may sinabi tungkol sa anak natin, we're always in denial eh. No, hindi. Okay? And we started to be ashamed of our children kasi pag nakita mo siya sa mall, halimbawa ikaw, may nakita kang bata sa mall, nagwawala siya. Ano ang tao? Judgmental ang tao eh. Automatic sasabihin, ano klaseng magulang naman to, hindi siya kayang patahanin. But we don't know the reason. Bakit siya nagwawala? Bakit hindi siya pinapatahan immediately? We have to understand those things. And we have to have an open mind na bakit nagkakaganon yung bata. We don't judge the parent. You don't have the right to judge any parent. Okay? Because you don't know the struggles na meron yung parent, especially with these kids.
Correct.
I have another friend also na ang anak niya is also diagnosed with autism and ADHD. So it's really difficult kasi pag nagwawala na ang bata, binanatan mo pa siya ng binanatan, it doesn't help.
Correct. Hindi niya na-understand.
Hindi niya naiintindihan bakit ganun yung situation. I even experienced yung pag nagwala na yung anak ko, yun yung yakapin mo na lang siya hanggang tumahimik siya, talagang mabubugbog ka na, naiiyak ka na lang kasi ano bang gagawin? Ano pa bang pwede kong gawin to help? And right now, that is another struggle kasi ngayon talagang nire-require ng school that somebody has to be with him.
Yes.
My son is very smart. Kaya lang, pag meron na talagang situation na ayaw niya yung sitwasyon na yun, nagwawala siya. And he even says, I'm upset, I'm angry. Okay, so pag angry siya, I let him be. Then saka mo siya kausapin slowly.
Correct.
You don't have to beat him. You don't have to scream at him. You have to lay the rules. Pero sa ibang parents, sasabihin na hindi. Dapat ang bata pag hindi nakikinig.
Correct, yes. Which they don't understand because they're not into your situation.
Exactly.
No? Ms. Rosanna, coming to this, given that the length of being an OFW, sa tagal niyo po na nag-abroad, being a mom that has this kind of situation, what are your takeaways? No, we also have other parents. I know some that are also going through the same situation. No, what are your takeaways at the same time? What would you like to? What be your message for them?
Well, as a parent, we just have to just really hold on, okay, and believe on what us parents can do. Tayo lang nakakaalam on how to handle our kids. Tayo lang nakakaalam ng mga struggles na meron tayo. And the only thing you can do for other people is to let them know. first and foremost, if you have a child na may ganong mga situations or may ganong diagnosis, all I'm asking those parents is to accept them.
Correct.
Okay? Don't be ashamed of them. Kasi hindi naman nila ginusto yun. Okay? They did not choose to be that. Okay? So, as parents, we are here to protect them. Okay? So, I want other parents to know na it's okay. You just have to accept them.
Yes.
Walang ibang magpoprotekta sa kanila kundi tayo.
Yes.
And walang makakapagsabi na yung anak mo ay ganito. Wala silang karapatan to judge you. No, sino man ang pwedeng mag-judge on how you parent your kids.
Correct.
Kung paano mo sila palakihin. As long as lumalakas silang mabuting tao and they know what's right and wrong, that's enough. And other people has no right to tell you what to do, how to do it.
Correct. Yes.
Only the parent can do that.
Yes. Ms. Rosanna, dito sa Global Filipino Magazine, we feature stories, inspiring stories of our kabayan. For you, what do you think is a successful person living in abroad, overseas, especially here in the UAE?
Oh, well, I have to share this kasi a friend told me this. Sabi nila when you are only called successful kapag meron kang sariling bahay, may maganda kang sasakyan.
Correct.
But I don't think that's how it is. Being successful means you are able to have your children have an okay life. Hindi kailangang bongga. Okay? As long as naging mabuti silang tao, hindi sila nakasakit ng ibang tao. I think that's success for me. Kasi sabi nga nung isang friend ko, pag tinanong ka ano nang naipon mo, it's always a joke. Anong naipon mo? Ikaw, Sir Joel. Anong naipundal mo? No, anong savings mo?
Resibo.
Ay, exactly. 'Di ba? Pero itong mga resibo na proof mo, sino ba ang nakinabang?
Yes.
It's your family. Okay? Hindi mo ninakaw yung mga bagay na yon to give them. You gave them a better life. Hindi man bongga, hindi man mansyon, hindi man malalaking sasakyan, pero naging maalwan ang buhay nila because you helped them. So I think that's already a success for me. Hindi ko kailangan sabihin na, ay may mansion ako sa ganito, may mansion ako sa White Plains, may malaki akong sasakyan, marami akong resibo. Yon, marami akong resibo. And napatapos ko yung anak ko in college. And now, pinag-aaral ko yung maliit. So, I think success for me cannot be measured by how much money you have in the bank or how much money you have for yourself. Kasi hindi ka makakapag-save if you're helping other people. So you just have to be
helping others, their success is also their success.
Yes. True. Like the one, it's also fulfillment for me kasi nga, if you remember, meron ako na pag-graduate, so
it's also a success.
Yes, and one of my students there got a better job. So siguro for me, I can consider myself successful. Kung sa ibang tao hindi pa ako successful, wala na akong magagawa.
Thank you so much, Ms. Rosanna. Mga ka-global, ito ang inspiring story ni Ms. Rosanna Garcia. Maraming salamat po.
And cut.